Hello, everyone. This is actually will be week one of the last fiscal quarter, but pretty much this week we're just going to do a summary of the past 13 weeks. Again, this is pretty much a program for American descendants of slavery. My name is Chief Biko. Today we have Chief Alligator, Chief Akibalon, as well as Chief Blackcoat. And again, here we focus on American descendants of slavery, with a focus on the A in the acronym ADOS, which is American. And just again, we're just going to pretty much summarize what we've done thus far within these 13 weeks. This is something that our people seem to have an issue with doing, or just aren't accustomed to doing, I would say, as far as just setting the goal, planning out, and making sure that they execute on it each and every week for a common purpose. So actually we'll do a little thing, some stuff a little bit different, but of course we're going to have the 12 steps go ahead and be read by Chief Alligator.
Okay, 12 steps for American descendants of slavery. 13-week practical program of action for each American descendant of slavery. In common terms, that means 90 days. All right, 13 weeks equals 90 days. Step one. Learn about the estate or estates your family originated from. Step two, who established that estate? Step three, what nation and confederacy had jurisdiction over that area prior to the European? Step four, ask all nonprofit organization you attend, what's your position on reparations? Step five, they either support it or they don't. No support, no money. However, if they support it, then immediately children and adults need weekly classes free of charge about steps 1, 2, and 3. And field trips to ADOS landmarks in that city, county, and state. We'll be actually working that step today by showing landmarks. Step 6, don't support European holidays for the remainder of the 13-week time frame. Last fiscal quarter of the year, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas, all coming up. Prisoners of war, which you're still spending money for. Step 7, avoid spending money with any small business that doesn't hire your people. Gas stations, nail salons, subways, etc. Step 8, all businesses need operating cash. Spend money with American Black businesses. Step 9, all other groups rely on our energy and operating cash to survive. Set the trends of making other groups follow our lead and support our clubs, services, products, and entertainment. Step 10, the US government is bankrupt. The Federal Reserve prints money, i.e. quantitative easing. It also burns money, i.e. quantitative tightening. The US dollar hasn't been backed by gold since Richard Nixon in 1971, the Gold Standard Act. The government operates off the full faith of its citizens to pay debt and taxes. American descendants of slavery no longer have faith in the US government. This is why financial support will be altered, stopped, and redirected. Here again, we're in 2021, last fiscal quarter of the year. Afghanistan refugees just this week got what, 6.2 billion, Chief Biko? So why you still rocking with this government? They showing you who they are. Step 11, teach your kids 1 hour a day about their history on this land. Subsection A, have them learn about an American inventor. Subsection B, have them know about our heroes. Subsection C, they should know the European that conquered the estate you live in. Subsection D, they should know the nation of people prior to European invasion, militarily and culturally. Step 12, practicing these steps will educate us on the land we're claiming, America, and it attaches us to the history and laws of the US government, two separate things, America and the United States government. Every estate American descendants of slavery live in should have steps 1, 2, and 3 advertised via social media, radio, and newspaper. This in 90 days, 13 weeks, 1 fiscal quarter will bring us together for our common cause.
Excellent, excellent. I'll go ahead and read off the quote. The quote that stood out to me this week would probably be quote 5. It was actually 3 of them, but I'm going to do quote 5. I think this kind of is in alignment to what we'll be discussing as far as just like summarizing, pretty much what we'll be summarizing today. Quote 5 is, real education means to inspire people to live more abundantly, to learn to begin with life as they find it and make it better. But the instruction so far given Negroes in colleges and university has worked in the contrary. In most cases, such graduates have merely increased the number of malcontents who offer no program for changing the undesirable conditions about which they complain. one should rely upon protests only when it is supported by a constructive program. And pretty much what that stood out to me is basically what we've been doing for these past 13 weeks. We had a program set out, we had that goal, and we pretty much executed. Again, it's like a common theme that our people don't know where we're going, so how can we ever succeed if we don't have a goal in mind? So just having that set goal and actually planning it out and actually taking steps towards that goal is what makes people successful. And that's what we need to do as a collective. Next, we'll have Chief Black Coat read off the Inventor.
How y'all doing? Okay, so today I'm gonna be talking about Willis Johnson out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Willis Johnson was born in Cincinnati. I couldn't find his exact birth date, but his patent number for the egg beater is 292821. Mr. Johnson is coined he's coined to be the inventor or creator of the egg beater. He invented it, with the mindset of mixing ingredients, but today we know it as your cake beater. You got the little machine with your two spring-like whisk that mix together your cake your cake mixture or whatever you're doing, baking a cake, making whatever. Willis Johnson in 1884, February 5th, I apologize. That's when he was coined the patent for the egg beater, February 5th, 1884. So in the 1800s, you had a brother out here trying to mix ingredients, getting tired of just using his hands, and said, hold on, it got to be a simple way. In 1884. And again, I couldn't find his birthday. I did a little deep dive trying to find his birth date, but they didn't have it for me. But yeah, that's Willis Johnson out of Cincinnati, Ohio. And he's the reason why today we mix ingredients faster than we used to. We don't use our hands no more. We just put it all in a bowl, whip it up with that little machine, the egg beater, and Black inventor, Black creator, American inventor, an American creator. I apologize.
I just want to verify the patent number. You said 292821.
Correct.
That was 1880.
84.
Okay. February, correct?
Yes, sir. February 5th.
And what percentage of that industry do we what percentage of income do we get from giving that to the world?
None at all. No profits off of this, no perpetual income off of this egg beater or this mechanism that helps mix ingredients faster. We get nothing from it as an American.
Right, it's a good inventor for this week, that Chief Black Coat.
I always like, oh, my bad.
No, go ahead.
No, I always like to find the simple ones because it's down to the T of what we brought to this world. It's down to the T, literally. So I always like to find the most simple inventions created by our people because it just shows how much we're thinking. It'd be the simple things that people never think about. And here we go again, bringing to the world all of this life and making things much easier. My bad for cutting you off, Chief.
Good point, though. Make everything easier. It makes life more convenient for everybody. But as Chief Alligator stated, we aren't reaping any benefits off our creations. No visual incomes, no taxes are being paid to us as far as for other people using our creations. It's just we created it, we take it, get nothing from it.
All right.
So, great point. Chief Alligator, you're going to read off the maroon points and definitions, whichever one you want to do first.
All right, I'm gonna pull it up real quick. So okay. Legal definitions. Number 1, American, a native of America. Second definition, descendants, one who follows in the bloodline of an ancestor, either lineally or collaterally. Third definition, slavery, a situation in which one person has absolute power over the life, fortune, and liberty of another. Fourth legal definition, prisoner of war, a person, usually a soldier, who is captured by or surrenders to the enemy in wartime. Fifth legal definition, school, any institution at which instruction is given in a particular manner, in a particular discipline. Sixth legal definition, education and enlightening experience. So our maroon points, first one, was a person escaping slavery, seeking freedom, or breaking the law. Second point, providing unity and a strong defense came first. I want to say that one more time for the prisoners of war, because we already going there tonight. Providing unity and a strong defense came first. Point 3, Maroon leaders were first and foremost military figures. You can't lead a group of people without being a military figure. Everybody on planet Earth adheres to that, but the Negro. Point 4, Maroons established guerrilla warfare, planting sharp sticks in thick grass. Point 5, Maroons knew their European enemies' language, defenses, and plans. That's the Maroon points and legal definitions.
Thank you, thank you. We'll again go ahead and just continue, pretty much continue what we've been doing for the past 3 weeks, jumping into the Constitution, again, just reiterating the fact that there is no money in this system by reading Section 10, as well as showing how treaties are the highest law of the land. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Can everyone see this?
Yep.
I got you.
Okay, perfect. A little bigger. All right, Section 10. No state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque and reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts. Again, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts. As Chief Alligator kind of alluded to earlier with the 6.2 billion that was signed off by Biden to give to the Afghan refugees. That was definitely a headline, but prior to that, we saw that they kind of raised, I believe they raised the debt ceiling. But how can you raise it when you have nothing in which is constitutional will be money? We know the Gold Standard Act
Crazy.
came into existence, but 1971, and Richard Nixon. And here in the Constitution, we clearly see where it says, make anything but gold, silver, and coin a tender of payments and debt. So pretty much, when prices begin to rise, we see these type of things, we can understand that because we're like, okay, inflation, but it inflates because we have nothing that actually backs it, no actual natural resource that will be considered money in the actual constitutional terms to back that or raise that debt ceiling. So it's like they just printing out money. And even with that, our people are still benign, neglected, still not giving any damn thing, even if it is fake. So that should just continue to, I guess, reemphasize that point that we are prisoners of war. Also, what we'll do here is read, I believe this Article 6. Okay, right here. This Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States shall be the supreme law of the land. And the judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary, notwithstanding. So just put in layman's terms, treaties are the highest law of the land. It says it right here. All treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States shall be the supreme law of the land. So all of these statutes, these ordinances, these policies, these policy enforcers, if anything does not supersede these treaties, well, nothing supersedes these treaties, period. But if it goes contrary to that treaty, then it's notwithstanding. So again, we have to learn our enemy's language and our enemy's pretty much our enemy maneuvers in order to not only maneuver within the system, but ultimately defeat and remove ourselves from the system. So that's definitely one thing I wanted to continue to, we just all wanted to reiterate. Any questions?
I want to add one thing on that treaty part, if you don't mind. If we could just scroll back down to it.
Scroll back down or scroll up.
What section was the
section
7, 8, 9.
Okay.
6.
After reading, after finishing up the Treaty of Payne's Landing last week and thinking about it this week, there is no law. Because here we have how many people wrote the Constitution? 46 or 39? The We the People.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying the treaty is the highest law of the land, but the two treaties that we've read so far, the United States government, none of its members signed it.
Mhm. Correct.
The military was signing it.
Mhm.
So
State of confusion.
you never contracted with the United States government. You contracted with the military.
Mm-hmm.
There is no
Mhm.
law.
Yeah.
I just want to throw
I
that
think
in.
they did it on purpose too, so it can be void.
Could you elaborate on that just a little bit more? Because I know that just go over everyone's head. You're saying your militia military was contracting with the natives, but the government or the United States Constitution, they were doing their own thing in Philadelphia. They had no correspondence with these treaties being what am I looking for? These treaties being offered to the natives, or asking them for whatever the treaty was. We just read we read them every week, but
Mhm.
you're pretty much saying two separate things.
To me, it sounds like a rogue agent going out and doing their own thing and like making deals behalf of themselves. Like, when you have a rogue agent, they kind of do things for their own benefit rather than the agency that they're working for. That's what it seemed like to me.
A rogue agent. Okay.
And
I like that.
I'm alone that because we have to remember the people who wrote the Constitution. If the United States government, which is what this document is attached to, that one of the members of that government would have had to sign the treaty. The only people that
for it to be lawful.
For it to be under right. So you're contracting with, like Chief Keebline just said, nobody from the United States government signed those treaties we've read so far. So the United States government could play dumb to it, be like, oh, never went into contract with you.
State of confusion.
We never did, but our military did. I was just saying that's basically how they think, is that we specifically never went into a deal with you, but our military did. But since we didn't sign it, you don't have no proof.
Right, which further explains why we're prisoners of war, because look who you contracted with.
The military.
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw that in. Yeah, we're just showing you why we say prisoners of war. We're not crazy.
Because it sounds like that we the people prepared to just throw that military under the bus whenever it's a given time. Whenever the people wake up, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, whenever it's convenient for them, they can. Because it's like Chief Alligator said, we never contracted with you guys. They never even sent us the paperwork to sign nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's under the guise of the United States. But again, we see there's been no ratifications, no updates to these treaties to even hold the feet to the fire, I guess, of the United States. But you can, again, to the military, which, like you allude to, just shows that we are prisoners of war. We contracted with them saying, like, hey, all right, let's stop all the battling. And then became underneath their subjugation, pretty much. We saw forts being built up around us. So it's like, okay, what are they doing? They setting up shop, keeping us contained. Again, that prisoners of war.
It's not hard. Let's because I don't want us to give too much credit to the European. Let's really look at what he did based on what we've read. We could do the same thing today. What they did was empty their prisons. So imagine you let everybody out of prison right now. You told them that you're going to be an indentured servant for 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Those your hitters.
Yeah.
That's all the European did. He emptied his prisons. He got rid of his peasants, sent them over here and said, look, you're going to bring wreck for 5 years. After 5 years, good. We'll set you up with land and everything. It's not rocket science what they did.
Yeah.
It would be just the equivalent of us doing the same thing. Empty out all your prisons, give us all our people back, and that's our front line. That's our military.
Right. And that's exactly what they did.
That's what they did.
Yeah, they had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So you can go to this new world, you can be free.
And there's
but you gotta pay for it.
There's a theme that everybody piggybacks off that. Fidel Castro did that with Cuba in the 80s. He emptied his prisons and sent all them to Miami, which is how you get your Scarface movie, right? Saddam Hussein in the 90s, when Desert Storm popped off.
It's like they just take the criminals and just make them do the dirty work as like a benefit of being out of prison, but they in turn still are imprisoned by something.
It could be collateral damage too, like there don't have to be anything traced back to you too as well.
Yeah,
You see
they
that
can
all
just
the
seem
time.
like somebody who got away.
Exactly. That's true.
Same thing in Afghanistan. I don't know if you're aware of that, Chief Blackcoat, but they did the same thing in that whole what they call Middle East. They emptied their prisons in the 90s when the United States government said they were going over there. First thing they did was emptied all their prisons, said run it. Let's see you, not only do you got to beat our military, let's see you deal with. So you see what happened. 20 years later, they had to tap out.
I think that's a good point where we can kind of jump into a good jump off point into just kind of summarizing this past fiscal quarter. How did we become underneath this military occupation? Like what happened? I know we pretty much laid out the blueprint of how it all started with that 1755 Militia Act. So I definitely want to just kind of jump on that a little bit just to bring everything full circle to see how we actually got here.
Contracted with them.
Yeah, pretty much. Let me go.
They contracted with the military and not the United States government. So they thought they were going to get rations, but they didn't understand who they were dealing with at first. They were dealing with the monster and not the political side.
Everybody see this Militia Act?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So basically, what I was getting at is pretty much, again, we was whooping their ass. They was coming over here thinking they were setting up shop. We was whooping their ass. This is pretty much that northern part of United States currently, like Philadelphia, New York area. We was whooping their ass, taking names. They was trying to expand. We wasn't having it. And we can see here just from this first paragraph, beginning in December 1754, Governor Morris had repeatedly asked the Assembly to pass a bill providing for the establishment and discipline of a principal military force. But the House had always either ignored the request or had evaded a definite answer. And in messages on November 3rd, he had pointed out that while he had been issuing commissions to such as were willing to take them, pretty much commissions to any person sent from Europe to pretty much defend themselves, he had been unable to because the lack of a militia law to form the people to such regular bodies at the present exigencies requires within the next few days the Assembly received several petitions both from Philadelphia and from the exposed frontiers asking specifically for a Militia Act or for forts and garrisons. And I know that's something you could definitely speak on that, Chief Blackcoat, in just regards to that.
Yeah, forts and garrisons, pretty much training headquarters, land to train on, so they could, pre-plan or come with an idea to pretty much attack our people, our native, our ancestors. To be correct. So forts and garrisons, what we see every day when we're driving past Fort Benning, Fort Bragg, Fort Leonard Wood, those are those establishments created, like we're reading, so they can pretty much bring all their prisoners in and say, hey, I'll give you a gun, we'll give you some training, this is what you're gonna do. So right here you can see them asking the government for that land to move forward.
Great point too. And just kind of like triggered another point, like you stated, they were looking for bodies to fight this shit. And it's
sending them over.
As Chief Alligator stated, who you gonna send? People who ain't got nothing to lose in your prison, your debtors. Look, y'all come fuck these folks up. 5 years.
It was a no-brainer for them.
Y'all good to go. You're a made man at that point. But first, to get to that point, we're gonna send y'all over here to Georgia, these other buffer states, and y'all gotta fuck some shit up. Y'all do what y'all supposed to do, life gonna be easy. And that's pretty much what it's stating here in this Militia Act. So this is how I kind of first began to how to even wrote it in the law first, and then have the people who were in those prisons and everything be sent over here to become the militia, to become the actual military. So again, it kind of just reiterates, who do we contract with? These prisoners, these debtors, the actual military who actually were the ones that came in and lived on the land, on that Muskogee Confederacy, the Creek Confederacy, came in and just took over that whole Southeast region. And that's exactly where they sent these prisoners, these European prisoners to.
Right.
I
And
mean,
it even tells us like, oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna add in, Chief Biko, that basically where we are now in 2021 is the European has always been on demon time from the day he touched his ground on his land. And so I had, so I'm gonna pose the question to what we deal with as prisoners of war. We get this non-violent approach, we get this protesting, but clearly we can see that the way the European went from sea to shining sea is everybody in their community was strapped up.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't got to overcomplicate this. Everybody was strapped up. Right. And so here we are. We just really in Mars got strapped up last year.
Yeah, definitely last year. I know we can see that firsthand.
It's just not rocket science at this point. Like, yeah, you have to protect yourself. And that's what these people did. They came over here and everybody they sent over here was strapped up.
Mm-hmm. That's just natural law, man, to protect yourself.
But I ain't gonna cut you off, Chief Blackcoat.
No, I was just gonna say, it just makes me wonder how many Europeans understand that your forefathers came from out of prisons.
Mm.
Like you're here because your ancestors were prisoners, and they gave them an option to say, "Hey, you can come over." So I can kind of understand, in a sense, why the European is so brute today. Mm-hmm. Why they will stand up and chant USA, 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 because they understand, yeah, we've been about it. We was already who we were then, and now today, yo, it ain't no different. We're still the same bloodline, still the same blood in these veins, so we can get an understanding of how all of this comes to be and who the European truly is. That was I like that we pulled this Militia Act up again.
Can you do it? I'll do that first sentence in that second paragraph. That first
sentence. And okay.
Just as a reminder for everybody watching, as fears of American attacks increase, pressure on the assembly grew until on Wednesday, November 19th, by the leave of the House, Benjamin Franklin, a member of this House. So that person that you see on that $100 bill,
mm-hmm.
Those people,
Benji.
Europeans were afraid of Americans, what they were calling Indians. So I got to ask y'all a question, just to, I didn't graduate college. I just got to ask a question. How are Europeans calling themselves American when they have in their Militia Act document who they were on that first? Right. They feared the Americans. So how 245 years later are they claiming to be American when they were the Pilgrim? Which one is it? I'm just asking that question.
Yeah.
You gonna play both? You gonna be the Pilgrim and the American?
And we always talk about how our people today, our group, Americans, we are sick. We have become very dependent on this government in a way. And again, we have another sick group as well, the European. Why? How are you calling yourself what? Are you okay? Seriously, that's my simple question. Are you okay? Because you're looking at your skin and then you're saying you're an American. No, you're not. Well, that doesn't even make sense, man. But we don't know we're the Americans, so anybody can call it. Now we got Asian Americans, Philippine Americans, Latino Americans. Everybody can just be, but not one American said, yeah, everybody welcome home. No one said that. I just want to throw that out.
Chief, keep it on. Where you at with this?
I'm kind of getting bits and pieces because our phone's breaking up.
You say your connection messing up?
Yeah, he freezing up. So
yeah. He said, what question did you ask?
Did you want to build on this? What we're looking at?
Oh, I feel like, I honestly just feel like they just knew how to kind of, how can I say this? They were doing, like, everything is just strategic. That's the simplest I can put it. Like, they were doing, like, even now, calling everyone, like you said, Latin American, Filipino American. I feel like it's kind of stripping them slowly too away from their original nationality. I just feel like this whole thing is just a big playbook. I don't know where it came from, but I just feel like it's a big playbook that's used and everybody. but I feel like everybody is figuring it out, but it's slowly happening. It's happen overnight, but it starts with small things like this. I just feel like it's a playbook, and I feel like that they keep doing the same play. It's like when you play at a brother or some brother, and play because that's the play that you feel like works till the person figures it out.
Right.
It's just,
You said a word that stuck out to me. He keeps cutting out.
Yeah, he froze.
but even the whole Indian.
Yeah, you're going in and out real bad, Chief. Keep alive.
Probably
Can y'all hear him? Yeah, you breaking up real bad, bro.
I just want to throw one thing out there. Chief of Cuba Line, he mentioned the word playbook. You can see here, Governor Morris is begging the assembly for this piece of land to train people. So we're looking at the Militia Act 1755. He's begging them in 1754. The Constitution comes into place 1756. So a playbook was in mind. He understood, hey, we gonna need numbers. We need bodies to fight the Americans. This isn't gonna work out with however y'all think it's gonna work out. Then we go into the second paragraph, as they fear Americans. So Governor Morris knew, like, yo, these people are way more ruthless than us. Open the prisons up. We need those people that's on the same time in 1754, 1755. And then you get into your 1756 when the government or the Constitution comes into place and they establish the United States Constitution. So it was a playbook in mind. Governor Morris knew, like, look, this not gonna happen. We gotta train. We need land to train. We need land to show these people how to shoot so we can actually win this thing. Because right now that shows me they're losing numbers by the second, bodies by the second.
You made a great point there too, like having those people who were war ready, because at this time we know as far as the European settlers that was coming over here, they were coming over in multiple regions, but the one that they always try to portray, especially in their history books, is for religious freedoms. So even here we see where they have Quakers and how, I'm not sure if they said it, but they pretty much state like how the Quakers is like, nah, I won't pick up the gun, but I'm not picking up the gun for me. You see what I'm saying? So when you were saying like, nah, we need bodies, we need numbers, we need people ready for that action, they bring over, they empty their prisons, and then we do that and we good to go.
Right. And your Quakers were just housing them. They were just, hey, welcome in. Here's some food, housing all the prisoners or the Europeans or the peasants or the pilgrim or whatever you want to give them a name to. But yeah, the Quakers was just, we ain't gonna fight, but they can stay in the crib. They can stay where we got. And they were just housing them, giving them, baths, hot water, shower, doing whatever they could because they knew, if we're gonna be here, let me help these brothers out or these sisters, whatever they wanted to call them.
Right.
The fight that they was gonna help out.
Oh, the next thing I wanted to jump into, just kind of, I guess, put a nail in the coffin toward the Militia Act and just showing how we are underneath military occupation is, again, because I know this was a big thing, just showing the militia districts. Like, this is something we can all pull up. This is brought to our
very important.
Chief Alligator. And just militia districts. So if we are underneath military occupation, then why would we have this? U.S. Department of Commerce, and then they have it broken down into militia districts. And you can click on one you want. Yeah, we hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah, I would just mute yourself until. No, you're good. I would just mute. Yep, I would just mute Chief of Cuba Line until you want to talk, because it's just going staticky all over the place.
They ready.
This is important.
It's Fulton County. Yeah. Okay.
So again, playbook. Chief of Cuba Line mentioned that this is a playbook. They knew, like, okay, once we establish our territory or take this land from this American people, we got to still play defense. So let's go ahead and cut it all off. What we're looking at right now ain't nothing but a redlining. Back in their time, back in the early late 1700s, early 1800s, this is just redlining. They just cutting it off. putting militias everywhere here. This y'all land here, surrounding us.
Everything
everywhere.
is a big playbook.
That's why I like when you use that word.
Because they do the same thing in real estate.
I didn't hear you, Chief.
They
Keep
do
on.
the same. Okay, so I'm just realizing every single thing that's used to keep people down, whether it's the indigenous people of America or Asians or whatever, it's just out of some big playbook. Because even in real estate, it's the same thing. Redlining is when you don't give loans or something to a specific group of people, and it literally would be an area circled in a red line or a red marker, and people from the government would have to go and play undercover and act like they were getting loans to catch banks and loan offices doing this and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like I said, it's just all of this is like the same playbook. It's like the same stuff, just in not in different, but in all like systems. It's just a big system. It's just a big matrix of like mazes that you got to figure your way out of and kind of see it for what it is. And until you can do that, it's gonna be hard to get out of this loop of like constant feeling like you have somebody that's really helping you when in reality is not really helping you. It's like when you give somebody a controller and it's not plugged into the game, but they telling you, oh yeah, you good, like you're doing real good. It's like I'm not even doing nothing for real.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Let me go demon time real quick. What I see on this is at the ground floor, all of them are with the militia life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I may become a police officer. I may become a sheriff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I may even get down with the Ku Klux Klan. But at the end of the day, when it comes to protecting what they feel they've conquered, they all with the militia at the end of the day. You see what I'm saying? So you can, it's
100%.
Yeah, don't get caught up in KKK. Like we can go back and say, okay, well, they would put the white hood on so that you wouldn't know. That might be the judge.
Mm-hmm.
But he part of that militia, but he's like, you know what? I want to stay anonymous. So let me put my little white robe on, and we want this land that this American family has. They got hundreds of acres. So just make up a reason, and we're gonna pull up on them Saturday night. We're gonna burn him alive in front of his yard and hang his kids. That's type time that it was.
Yes, it was.
Even with that too, I just want to say this, like I want our people to realize how much power we have, because with the Black Panther movement, they infiltrated and dismantled that like real quickly, but they still allow things like the KKK to still be around, like even to this day. And I feel like that's just a testament to show us how powerful we are, because we can't even have our own resistance, and they feel so strongly about us having our own resistance or our own militia, then that shows you how much power we really do have when we come together. And I just want our people to like realize that for real.
Yeah, our people, for some reason, that dollar sign screams real loud to them. That's the only reason I can understand why the Black Panther got infiltrated. What are you doing?
System.
They threw that money in their face. Look how we live, man. Look what we've done. Look what we accomplished. So it's like the dollar sign got us wrapped up, and it's not even. If they put some gold in your face, they put some silver in your face. What do you want the fiat? So our people are, I don't know, but yeah, that's the only reason I can think of why we had I forget the brother's name from that just got the movie or whatever from that just came out. But yeah, what was your real reason for doing that? Why are you going back reporting to the CIA or reporting back to the KKK or reporting back to the Europeans what we got going on?
It's always been like a snitch, and it's always been because of like with the Creeks. It was people who just like looking at the benefit for themselves and not at least talking to their own people. Like, yo, have these people came to you? Like, have they asked you about this? Like, what should we do? It's like they were just taking it, but they were just taking it for their own benefit instead of looking at the benefit of the collective.
They could have used it against them if they wanted to. Like you said, it could have came like, hey, this dude speak to you. All right, so we gonna play them. I'm gonna get as much information as I can. He gonna think he playing with me, but I'm gonna be feeding him wrong information.
Exactly.
So, but like you said, maybe if that dollar self-interest that is continuing, that continues to have us, in the predicaments that we in. Because like you said, it started from the Creek Confederacy, even into modern day. So it's like we have to get that mindset, that discipline, where it's like, and that's where the 12 steps come in. We got to cut out everything. Stop worrying about the distractions, the money, the entertainment, these other things, and be focused on a goal. And that's one thing that keeps on, being brought up, mentioned. They had a goal, they had a plan, and they executed that. We just sitting around, our heads cut off, not knowing where to go. We have to get that goal, we have to get that plan, and then we have to execute it, move on it, so we can become, reclaim our spots. Pretty much at the top.
Well, now today it's in our. Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Chico.
No, that was it.
Okay, now I was just gonna say today it's in our face now. It's the age of information. So everybody's seeing the Instagram post. Biden just gave the Afghans $6 billion. It's in your face. So now it's time for our group to really start saying, hold on now. We might need to do something for ourselves and stick to it. Stick to a goal, stick to a short-term, long-term goal. As we're looking again, that's why I like when Chief Aculine said a playbook. This is the whole playbook for them. This was pre-planned, then came over and they manifest, they created it. We're looking at militia districts now. Why? They didn't just come over here thinking like, oh, no, they planned it out and stuck to it. Now it's in our faces what this government is doing to the Americans. Ignore the shit out of you. Act like nothing's happening. Three Americans die a day due to slave patrol. Let's just act like that doesn't happen. We were, dialoguing all week about how the George Floyd Act just got thrown out. So if they're not going to do it for you, you do it for yourself. Our people, again, we do this class every week to pretty much tell the people we have to lose faith. We telling you the money fake. Don't just listen to the words. We telling you the money fake. Yeah, it might be in big words, look cool, Constitution. We telling you the money fake. Get back to who you are. We don't need one. You can't even say, oh, well, we need. You're not getting anything. What do you need? You're not getting it. So now it's time for us to just look back to I think that's why I think in high school, the most important things we learned in high school was short-term goal, long-term goal. If anything else we learned in high school, that was the most important thing. And now we have to get back to that. We're losing right now. We're taking all L's every day. Every day we take an L. How many L's are we going to take before we get to the playbook and start writing down these plays?
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. I'm trying to see what we left on after the Militia Act, just to kind of go.
Do you know what the drug?
So I know again after that, we kind of briefly spoke on the trees and everything, and I think we can kind of just, the key or the main theme from those treaties was, again, who are we contracting with? Who are they signed with? Again, the military. So it kind of all just comes back to, again, being prisoners of war, being underneath military occupation, and then understanding that we can then, plan accordingly to get out of this, underneath this military occupation, and then have our own. Again, we're seen to be at that stage where we're just continuing to beg for something, even though we're not going to get it, but we won't do anything about it.
Marching ain't getting you nothing. I don't even know why we thought marching would. I don't know what you working out for, thinking you about to accumulate. They're laughing at us. They're like, wow, they think walking in circles is gonna.
It doesn't get you anything.
It doesn't get you anything.
We can learn from our ancestors, in that when they did protest, they had something to back it. They had a plan, which was boycotting at least the buses. They did that for 13 months. We can't get a fiscal quarter, 90 days, 3 months, for us to see if it works, for us to see what we can do within those 3 months to possibly see if something changes. Then, of course, nothing changes, then hell, back to the drawing board. But it seems like we won't even put forth the effort to even attempt it. It's like we speak on something like, I can't do that. No, you asking for too much. Asking for too much. Then you're comfortable in your current predicament. And I just want to,
it's crazy,
kind of jump into that, like just right here, benefits of setting a goal.
Before you jump into
that, go ahead.
Now I was gonna say, before you jump into that, can you just revisit the 13 inventors? Is there that?
Yeah, I got them here listed.
Okay. So
just summarize them up.
So
Go ahead.
let's just look at the industries real quick, because again, I said earlier, after high school, I chose technical school. That doesn't matter, but that's for the social instinct, right? If you want social, but I knew when I came out of high school, my generation was like the first generation to go to college. I was like, I wasn't impressed in high school. I was always the one that would challenge everybody. So here I am now. We're sharing information that people who are so embedded or have so much faith in the school system, why don't you know this? Because education is more important than the school system. So it's a lot of people that felt the way I did. We just wasn't vibing with it. It just, and now we know why, because you were lying. But let's just go along with the narrative that we were slaves and we never fought back and we're a peaceful group of people. Let's just go with that lie for a minute and let's just see if the record shows something different. So the world, through our lineage, got the home video security system. The world also got the air conditioning unit from us. The world got the invention of thermostat and temperature control system for your refrigerator from us. The world got the process of preparing coconut oil from us. The world got the range where you cook your food in the oven from us. The world got the refresh generator system for dynamic memory of PC from us. The world got the clothes dryer from us. The world got the boot in the shoe from us. 3D viewing glasses from us.
Not Africa.
PO box.
African Americans, they think, oh, maybe someone. No.
The patent for the letterbox where we drop mail off, that's from us.
Huge one.
Rolling cigarettes from us. The method of dry cleaning from us. And then tonight, we'll just do the 13 from the first fiscal quarter. So we're showing you all of these inventors. These industries would not exist today. You wouldn't be taking your stuff to an Asian store to get your dry cleaning done. Buying Newports if it wasn't for us, because we figured out how to roll it up. So there's 13 industries that we gave to the world, but yet the school system tells you that you was a slave. And then they told you that you're a peaceful group of people, but we're reading treaties showing that we were fighting, we was in wars with them. The point is the whole shit is a lie. And everybody that promotes the lie, you got to start looking at them for who they are.
You said a good thing too in regards to like the history that's being taught. When we read off the legal or the definitions, it's schooling. It's like a discipline in particular. You're getting pretty much taught in a particular discipline, a particular doctrine. We know this doctrine to be a lie because they don't state none of what we've been reading for the past 13 weeks, what we just read off with the inventors. They don't speak on any of that. So the doctrine that we're being taught is a false doctrine. We created everything. But again, as Chief Alligator stated, we were just slaves. We were just illiterate. We could only read the Bible and only a few verses. We couldn't do anything. We just pick cotton and that's it, go to sleep. We didn't even fight that.
It's a bold-faced lie.
It's a bold-faced lie.
And we're showing proof. Come on, which one is it?
I'm only smiling because it's like, what we doing?
Really?
But it's not a laughing matter. The banana neglect is serious. I think Chief Alligator, I'm glad you just did that, because it's like, wow, you really gonna patent all our stuff and just act like it's not ours? You're gonna just throw.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like, wow, like even those who I'm looking at, Thomas L. Jennings. So Thomas L. Jennings, what was the Jennings family doing? So did the militias come in and burn his whole town down where his family lived for us to pretty much forget that Thomas L. Jennings is the inventor and the family can't speak on? It's like, how did the banana neglect is real, and it started from the day they landed here. Wow, these people have everything I want. We're gonna just act like they didn't do it. We're gonna act like we did it. How you do it? You came out of prison. You didn't even know how to.
It's the greatest known secret.
Yeah.
Known to them, a secret to us.
So here's the challenge. Going back to what Chief Biko said, here's the challenge. The challenge is once you understand that we created all these industries that the world now today benefits off of, the whole concept of the 12 steps is, and I'm just gonna put it in layman's terms. Sit down. You the poorest group
on the
you
planet.
got no money. You're supposed to have 90 days living expenses before you even outside playing under a capitalistic society. So the idea is, if we're the poorest group under this government, why are you outside partying anyway? Sit your ass down for 90 days, learn about your bloodline, learn something about your family. Stop spending money with all these people off stuff that you created. 90 days. That's the test. Can you do it for 13 weeks and just see how much power you have if you can go one fiscal quarter and shut this bitch down? And you will see everybody will literally be kissing our feet, asking us, all right, what's the problem? That's how much power we got. Going back to what people are saying. We don't realize the power we got. This is our stuff.
I think we got a little note right here. We spend 1.2 trillion annually. But that 300 billion a physical quarter. Sit down.
But that doesn't mean anything, right? From a treasury standpoint, that just means money going out the back door. So you don't have coming in the front door because you're not getting a percentage of income from any of the inventions you created. So the way that you balance your budget is to close the back door. Ain't no money going out the back door then. Since ain't none coming in the front, ain't none going out the back. And watch how quick this whole thing turn around.
Literally. Chief Bagger, you're saying the most important things right now. Yeah, you're saying the most important things right now because beside everything else going on in the world, this is the most important thing. Sit down. You're not getting anything. Yeah, it might feel good to have your own little personal income, but your group is failing. You're the laughing stock of the world. People overseas are looking at us like, wow, people overseas know Europeans ain't Americans. They know Asians ain't Americans. They know Africans ain't Americans. They looking like, wow, the Americans just let this happen. Wow, what they must, and then now they're believed that's who we are. Oh, that's just who they are. That's not who we are. If we like money, why we can't literally, like Chief Alligator is talking about, get it? Ain't no money coming out the back door. All this gonna be right here for us to grow and move forward. We could have been setting the tables with these Europeans if we just stayed at home. We keep trying to celebrate their holidays, do what they do, go to the club and drink their alcohol, party how. What are we doing? We have nothing. Like you can't go to Browntown and go take little Pookie to the hospital. You got to go to Coweta, go to whoever, and now you got whoever working on Sun. No, what are we doing? You got Mexicans. Mexicans can go wherever and shop happily. Asians can go to their little area and feel comfortable. How are we not comfortable in our own house? This is our house. It's real dirty. It's time to clean it up. Somebody got to clean it up.
You made a good point too, man. It's the trust, man. It's the trust. Like it's when you just said Asians, they can go to their places and be comfortable. They got their own fucking supermarkets. How long we even got a fucking supermarket? I mean,
supermarkets bigger than Walmart.
Supermarkets. We ain't even got our own fucking supermarket. Yet we out here spending 1.2 trillion annually on they shit, which
we got the money.
We got the money.
We got it. Well, the fiat.
We're not trusting each other. We're not pooling our resources to get this thing. We come on here every month. We spend what $2.99 on this Zoom channel. $2.99 from 13 million people. What? Just $2.99 a month. That's it. $3 a month. What that is? $36 from each household.
Right.
What?
I think me and Chief Alligator came to the conclusion everybody's playing for self. Everybody, we have been beaten so bad mentally, spiritually, physically that everybody's just playing for keeps now. I don't care what's going on with my group. As long as I'm good, that doesn't work, buddy. Because now when you walk outside by yourself, everybody gonna look at you like, oh, who are you? Who are you, Mr. Big Shot? And then they're gonna blow your head off because no one cares. Right. We have to be together. That's why the Asians can get bills passed when somebody going to spray up one of their little massage shops. They looking like, oh, whoa, y'all think y'all about to play monster with us? No. because they have power and they have the money to back it and they got the people to back it. They have the structure to back it. We have no structure. The Black Caucus, we can't call it that. We can't call it our structure. We don't know what they're doing. I don't even know. Who are y'all? What? Just found out about them. I was like, oh snap, we do got a group of people doing something for us. Oh, they not doing nothing.
We're supposed to be doing something.
That's one of the that's a powerful benefit. We're shining so much light amongst the darkness in this group of people. But what you're looking at right now with Chief Akibalon, Chief Vito, Chief Alligator, Chief Black Coat, and Chief Quiet Water, what we're showing you is the power of a mastermind. All you're watching is a mastermind, and we're just letting the world see that you can get multiple minds together, talk about a particular topic, and you can get that thing, you can get those minds sparking from different angles, and we can all come together. We're showing our people it can be done. It can be done. Going back to what Chief Blackco said, when it comes to, we have to learn how to start spending money with each other. Like, it's sad to say we've become that retarded, but the truth be told, a lot of us been out here doing this, like for real, a lot of us been out here. We just was waiting for the economic or the society to get to a point. Let me say it like this. The highly schooled are not going to get us out of this. You know who's going to get us out of this? It's going to be your hustlers and your soldiers.
Your warrior class and your hustlers.
It's your business sector that's going to figure this out. They can't, y'all just high paid employees. Y'all don't think outside the box.
Right.
You're going to have to let your entrepreneur class, you're going to have to let your warrior class run the plays. Y'all know what you're doing. This thing can turn around real quick.
Chief Alligator, you said something that's important again.
All you need is.
Oh, my bad.
No, I was just gonna reiterate what Chief Alligator said. I gotta be like Dr. Umar. I feel like I got to. I gotta say it 3-4 times for people to get it. We're doing it. Even before YouTube, we was doing this. Now we showing the world, yo, we can sit our ass down and really figure it out. We done found all your articles and all your secret documents. We done did it. So now we're showing the group like, look, y'all, we not ignorant. We not just daywalkers and get money for bitches. No, we real life out here. Like, we really entrepreneurs, college graduates, mental people, warrior class, our younger class, the youth. We out here trying to figure it out. So we proven we can do it. We can do it. We just got to put the pride aside and let go of, I love our women. I love our men. I think we're the most beautiful people on the planet, the most beautiful race. I really, really do. I haven't seen anybody else look like it. We got to get out of our asses. We got to get out of our, I look like this. I can do this. I can do that. Fuck all that. Who cares? We the only group that care about it. Everybody else looking like, yeah, but y'all broke.
Yeah.
You can be in the G-Wagon all day, but they know when I see a black person in a G-Wagon, I'm like, yeah, clap to you. But nigga, where you driving that G-Wagon to? And what we doing with it? Like, what have you established so you can get a G-Wagon? So it's like, it doesn't matter. That doesn't, like, again, I just want to reiterate, like Dr. Umar, we can do it. We can sit down and pre-plan and create mastermind groups and figure it out. We figured out so much stuff in a year that I've never would have thought I figured out. But now I know, and it's like, yeah, dang, we really can do it. We just gotta put the pride aside, put it aside, put the Gucci bag aside, put the Louis Vuitton aside. It doesn't matter. One, that's European stuff anyway. Stop making us look bad.
Let your hair go, grow your dreads or whatever. Stop going down here and again, not hating on weave or anything like that.
Nothing.
Shut it down for one fiscal quarter. You ain't got no money.
Bring them to their knees.
You ain't got no money. You're the poorest group.
You might have some money, but we ain't got no money.
As a group, you the poorest group. What you flexing for?
It ain't a real flex. It's really embarrassment. It's really like that's a clown. Cause he over here acting like you look like a clown, bro. The group is failing. You got on the whole clown suit. You don't see it, but we see it. Anytime I see, like, go to the strip club, you see somebody throw $1,000. I'm looking at him like, yeah, cool. But what we doing? Nothing. We can't call no shots.
So we're that positive light. What we're doing is turning the table around, because the people who they put in our face are not really the leaders. And so what has to happen is it has to turn around, and you have to put our warrior class and our business minded people, you have to put them together And then we dictate to everybody else how to get. Right now, what they have is Holly School getting in front of us as if they're leaders, but when they get in those rooms, they don't have a pair. They don't have a pair because that's not your position. Your position is to be off in your own cubicle and you write up the laws. But when it comes to negotiating and going in the rooms, that's a different kind of animal. We got the wrong people in the rooms. Your spirit ain't strong enough.
And it hurts just from you talking about it. That hurts because like you have our educated class and they still get up there and embarrass us.
But they're not business class. Educated is not your business class. That's the problem. They get in the room with
they don't know how to get things done.
They don't get things done. They get talked too crazy. They don't know the numbers. And so now what happens is they come back and say, we didn't get the George Floyd Act. We need you back out in the street. Well, you didn't handle business when the people were in the street. You weren't bonding. You didn't bond out the black people. You didn't pay them hospital bills when the cops were shooting them with rubber bullets. You didn't stand up when people were doing formations. Y'all act like y'all didn't see none of that. So how you gonna keep asking people to get in the street? You ain't got their back.
You ain't got our back. Dang, got hurt. You ain't got our back. White man went in there and shot I don't know how many agents. Them agents came back and had they back. We, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, the names can go on for literally ever. Nobody got our back. How these cops still out there doing whatever? Like, again, I understand we prisoners of war, but how we got a class that supposedly is in Congress and writes law and writes whatever they write, really ain't writing shit. You ain't writing nothing. You like, we joke all the time. They bring in the coffee. Them the do boys. Yeah. They cleaning the toilets. They hold the door open. Yes, massive. Yeah, we see y'all now. Because how Asians got a little hotline now. They hotline, hey, somebody, and we can. Yeah. It blows my mind. It really does. But
if you go for self, they went for self. They did. And kudos to you for getting whatever degree that you got. But then you went for the personal pension. You went to make sure your immediate family was straight, right? You forgot about the people because you took that deal. Now that you took that deal, you don't have the people behind you. So when they bum rushed the Capitol on January 6th and they got the hanging station in front of the Capitol looking for your black ass, right? And then you wonder why they're not even pushing that issue about that happened. It's exposing who you were. You went for self, and now the people don't care what happens to you. That's just a harsh reality. You're not our leaders. The Black Congressional Caucus is not our leadership. It's embarrassing that you've been in it for 50 years and we have a school to prison pipeline amongst our people. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, I never want to celebrate it.
Nothing positive to show for it.
Can you hit them with some of them pictures from Tampa just so we can?
Yeah.
Just so we can just bang them real hard. You read the treaties.
Let's see. Is it showing now? I might have to come back.
Yeah, we see it.
Okay.
So we read the treaties and then you may be thinking, well, okay, the treaties are fine, but you can go to Tampa, Florida this week and go to the historic museum and you can pull up everything that Chief Biko was showing. And you can also go to a little area called Ybor City, which is like a party area in Tampa. And in that Ybor City area is a memorial that hopefully Chief Biko will show. And we'll just touch on that. But all of this is right here in our face. It's right. This is right here in Tampa. All these images that Chief Biko is about to show you.
He's here from the museum.
It won't let you scroll your mouse over. See if it'll give you the option to click right or left. It won't.
Nah.
Okay.
Let me see if I can do see, I don't even think it'll give me like unless I put them all in pictures. Let me see if I see all photos. I don't know if that'll bring up all of these photos.
So you have to just go one by one.
Yeah.
So this is just different. We're looking at just different clothing items that the Americans are wearing.
Look at the dolls. Look at the skin tones. That's us.
So it's giving a little description of
how Chief Biko said, that's us. They using the closest cloth that matches the skin complexion. That's us. That's a no-brainer, really.
You can see Knowing you in the South, you know it's hot. That's the equivalent of some type of sun.
Just the description on it. Let me see what else we got here. Pop up. Map.
That's one of the military maps. So it just basically shows the seat of the war. That's what that image talks about. And so if you ever go to Tampa, Florida, that was the seat of the war. Seminole Wars, these treaties we're reading about, that was that's where it happened. And it's just amazing how we don't know. We walking around in all these different estates that we live in, and we don't even know. We should be honoring those certain areas because that's where our ancestors washed these people. We're gonna get to one here in a minute as he goes through these photos. Uncharted lands.
Cool.
So that person right there, Kowahuchi, he's one of the chiefs. When you talk about honor your heroes, you know, he's one of the great chiefs of the actual of the Seminole War. But we're getting closer to the and again, all this information is in Tampa. You can go see it for yourself in case if you want to make these treaties come alive. So you can see the Seminoles and the Miccosukees. It's a little hard to read that due to the flash off the glass that it's sitting in. Okay, the American colonies during the 1700s. Large group of Creek Indians began moving into Florida. From present-day Georgia and Alabama, they were joined by other native groups. So that's pretty much what we've been reading as the Yamasee nations were collapsing in the Carolinas. As they were losing land, they started migrating further down south. Now, if you're American, you can remember your grandparents or your aunts and uncles having spoons in the kitchen that look similar to that. Come on.
Too.
Yeah, come on. Come on. Big spoons, come on. Your grandparents.
Yeah, we're getting to it. Got a lot of kids to feed. We need the biggest spoon, throw it on there. Throw it on that plate.
You can see the utensils. Now, as we move into, yep, so we're still looking at the utensils. The shoes.
More clothing artifacts. Baskets.
Now, so this is important because as you go through these other images, now that you're in the map, there's a whole wall in that museum that just has a map printed on it. And so as you go through these other pictures, we'll let the world see that we're not just reading these treaties and this didn't really happen. This is actually in Tampa's Historic Museum today. It's a whole floor dedicated. So everybody knows, all the Europeans in Florida know. It's us that's walking around that have no clue. So you see, we're talking about the Second Seminole War.
Fort Negro.
Fort Negro. Okay, so we're about to go into the Third Seminole War, but you see where it says Fort Brooke?
Yeah.
Now, what does that say? The main remaining Seminole leader was?
Pretty much Billy Bowlegs, but Olacto Miko.
Right. Following years of bloody battle, Bowlegs agreed to leave Florida for Oklahoma with about 165 members of his tribe. A few unorganized bands, including one led by Sam Jones, remained in the Big Cypress Swamp. So we can see he had 165 people with him, but that Fort Brooke is important because that's part of the Trail of Tears.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's long here.
Yeah, the Indian Removal Act, they were shipping them right out of Fort Brooke. So when you go to the next, You want to see the map from a bigger standpoint so you can really see that everything we're reading, so that's reservation land, that's just confirming what we just read, the Treaty of Moultrie Creek.
Mhm. Talking about Chief Billy Bowlegs.
Mhm.
Pictures.
Images of them. Not showing in the image is people in Florida always had golds in their mouth. So a lot of the Seminole had golds and dreads. So you see that same energy today. You wonder why that energy is in the Creek Confederacy, because that's how we were rocking it. We had gold teeth and dreads.
There shouldn't be no shame about it.
No.
It's gold for one. It's real money.
So you can clearly see on this one, everything we've read, this is the whole wall in this museum. This is just proof. If you follow that line coming out of Fort Brooke, if you put follow that line, everybody knows that you were shipped from Florida into New Orleans and you walked it out into Oklahoma. We went over that for the last 13 weeks. And this is actually in Tampa in their historic museum as well.
So they're even acknowledging it with
in our face.
Mm-hmm. And
They
like
document
said,
everything.
The American Removal Act 1830.
Right.
If anybody moved during that time, then how we still here? Again, standing ground. So that's just another myth debunked, that our people were still here fighting. And that's again led into that's one like civil rights movement, Jim Crow, red line, and all the things we pretty much discussed earlier.
Let me ask one thing for you, Click. Look at the date. It says standing ground 1817 to 1858. I got a question. The Third Seminole War never ended.
Correct.
The Civil War, according to the Europeans, starts in 1861. But the Third Seminole War never ends. This is why we're prisoners of war. The Southeast, the South, we never stopped fighting the European.
That's why it was called the Civil War.
So what they called the Civil War was really the United States government fighting its rogue military who was going into treaty in private with these different nations. Are y'all following me?
Yeah, which is proof from the Moultrie Creek Treaty, the Treaty of Payne's Landing.
Walking it out.
Like we stated earlier, there wasn't no we the people signing those damn documents.
Right.
It was the military, again, they got big-headed. They said, you know what? We the one doing the dirty work. We the one securing the land. Fuck it.
Pay attention to this map, y'all, real quick. Put your mouse over North Carolina, South Carolina.
Zoom in a little bit too.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, now, remember we've been talking this whole first 13 weeks that Georgia was Florida. You don't see Georgia on that map. Pay attention closely. You don't see Georgia on that map.
Nah.
It was Florida.
They couldn't go that far inland because our ancestors was washing them. So
swamp.
I'm just looking what you're looking at now. There is no Georgia on that map. All of that was Florida.
Yeah.
You had a little
Alabama. You see Alabama, but yeah, you don't see no. They got an outline, but you don't see no name or nothing.
Who is Georgia named after? I know it's one of their generals or warriors.
King George.
King George. Right. Okay. So King.
So in the music world, and I'm just bringing it back today, I'm not saying there's a beef, but this Georgia Florida thing, you can make it football or what, but historically, it's all the same.
We're the same.
It's all the same. There was no Georgia. That was Florida.
Swamplands. I mean, even if you look at the terrain when you in Georgia or Florida, it's almost the same. Warm, wet. You know, Florida might have its palm trees and all of that stuff that they still kept there, but that all they did was just dig all that up out of Georgia and made it Georgia.
It was so we can see South Carolina, North Carolina, how it took hundreds of years for them to go from say that our ancestors were slaves. What you're really doing is the warrior class of our people. Our people been fighting since day one. We can't be slaves and be inventors. Are we inventors or are we slaves?
Patchwork, but like add your content. Like
Right.
start with your style.
What's the next one say? So we can see the map now. Okay, now this is very critical. This is a example of trading places. What really makes a person a true Florida cracker, besides being born in the state. Now this is coming out the Tampa Historic Museum.
Mhm.
Several things make you a Florida cracker. A love of the land and nature, growing things in soil, close family ties, and a deep sense of religion. It also means crackling bread and grits and periwinkle soup and swamp cabbage and okra gumbo and ham hocks with collard greens and chicken fried in a cast iron skillet and guava jelly and homemade blackberry cobbler. So this whole idea that we eat chicken and we eat more, no, that's the Florida cracker.
Mm-hmm.
You just took what you love and just put it on us. You like
Yeah.
collard greens and ham hocks, but you try to make it seem like, oh, you know, Negroes love chicken. No, Florida crackers do.
No, y'all love that shit.
I love it, bro. It's
Something
like
the other
every
day.
night is like boom. Wow. So someone said something very important to me at Plain State. I was in an African American class, and the lady, she came out, older woman, you can tell she's very knowledgeable, just the way she spoke. And she was like, our ancestors didn't eat that much meat. I'm not sure where we get this narrative from. They were 80% vegan. I was like, what? What do you mean they was only eating plants? I thought we loved collard green, or not collard green, chicken and pig, all of the pig. No,
they loved it. That was them.
Mm-hmm.
So here's prime example. Let's just go through this. We've been on for a minute. We just doing a summary today. Just, you know, we accomplished the goal. We did 13 weeks. We earned the right to celebrate and have a little fun with it as we get back in the lab and close out this fiscal year.
Territory.
There's a memorial I want y'all to see on here.
Sorry to cut y'all off, but I'm about to dip out. I got another class I'm gonna jump in right after this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and get prepared for that one. So today was a good class, y'all. I'm gonna catch y'all again. See y'all later with YouTube. Y'all do what y'all keep doing, but I'm gonna have to dip out of here.
All right.
All right, then, y'all. Yep.
What time is it? Yeah, we
22. Yeah.
See if we can get to there's one picture. Not that one. Okay, that just proves everything we talked about, the move west. That's the map. Yeah, so we can clearly see. Okay.
Two more.
Do you have to, not that one, should be one with the memorial. Boom, that's the y'all to see. So this memorial is in Ybor City. This is like the party district in Tampa. And this landmark, okay, boom. The old military road connecting Fort Brooke, Tampa and Fort King, Ocala ran through this vicinity. So this is right in the heart of Party Central, Ybor City. On December 23rd, 1835, Major Francis L. Dade set out over the trail with a detachment of 109 soldiers to reinforce the small garrison in Fort King. On the morning of December 28th, 1835, Chief Alligator, leading the Seminoles and Maroons, ambushed the Dade expedition near Bushnell. Only 3 survived the Dade massacre, planned by the fiery Osceola, marked at the beginning of the Second Seminole War. That's critical because that's proof of claim right there in Ybor City. That every time you watch that Seminoles Florida football, Osceola is the one who comes out on that horse bareback. And then, of course, you see my name as Chief Alligator. I'm honoring that chief that slaughtered Major Dade, which is how you get Dade County.
Yeah.
So my question to people would be, why don't we make that a holiday?
Yeah.
They did it with Thanksgiving. They made slaughtering your ancestors a holiday. So why don't we turn around and take our
same thing?
They spirit cooking us. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. They spirit cooking us. Damn. Yeah.
They spirit cooking it because we're celebrating our ancestors' demise. How you do that?
Mm-hmm. 28th we celebrating. That's our day to cook up and feast because we Yeah, took them to the slaughterhouse on that one.
Yeah, and that should be the day that whatever battles in any territory, why don't we honor those days? They honor theirs the day that they slaughtered Americans. They call that Thanksgiving. And then you go out and we're so crazy. We'll justify, well, you know, it don't mean the same thing. Yes, a murder is a murder. What the hell are you talking about?
Eat good.
I'm gonna say something. You ready for this?
What's that?
We're gonna shut it down, bro. I'm finna say something. They look at the young generation right now when they smoking packs and all this and that. Them and say they crazy, but who's really crazy? The young kids smoking packs, or the adults that are celebrating their own murder with Thanksgiving?
Yeah. You really gotta be out your fucking mind.
Out your mind to celebrate.
Then try to justify it with other things, saying, oh, I don't need that no more. You know, it's just the time to get together with family on that day, though. You my nigga on that day? Okay. Nah, you lost in the sauce, my boy.
And it's like, that's a prime example of spirit cooking us. And I just want us to think about that. Why do we justify? Now, let's take it off Thanksgiving and let's just say the murder at the spas that happened when somebody brought that up tonight. Do you think the Asian people are going to make a holiday out of that?
Hell no.
So why do we celebrate Thanksgiving when Americans were being slaughtered? We ass backwards, man.
Yeah.
But
about it, though.
As a group, yeah, we know how we're showing the power of forecasting, planning ahead. Just real quick on Biden. Since the war ended, they already had this plan that they were going to take care of the people that they brought over here financially. So again, it just shows prisoners of war. You're not even on their agenda. They're showing you time and time again when the Asians got shot. They stopped what they were doing. They wrote up legislation and hurry up, and Congress passed it. Biden with this war thing, he didn't even want to take it through Congress. I'll do it out of my branch specifically. When it comes to prisoners of war, you get nothing specific. But now they want you to go back out there and march and do all this and that. And you didn't even take care of the people that was out there last year that did. I didn't protest.
Hell no.
But those that did, that got shot with tear gas and shot with rubber bullets and got federal charges for being out there, y'all ain't got their back. Now you want them to go back out there. I love it, bro, because as this, it's gonna get uglier for us. They're not gonna let this group go to sleep anymore. They're gonna bury us alive, or all hell gonna break loose. That's gonna be what it is.
Yeah, it's only two ways to end this thing, unless we change it. What's
your closing thoughts on it? Go on in. What you got for it?
Shoot, again, the necessity to have a plan. That's just been a recurring theme, not only today, but within the past 13 weeks. Have a plan, stick to it, and work towards it. That way we can get out of this predicament. All we did here was sit for an hour, a little bit over an hour, and discuss what we researched. Just imagine us doing that on a large scale. And then, of course, expanding from there. But we got to start somewhere. Got to have a plan, and then got to work towards that goal. And that's all we did. 5 people come together, 5 more people, 25 more people until we reach that quote unquote 13 million of us, even though we know it's more. Till we reach that, we be good to go. But it starts with these type of steps, and this is what we got to do. Build that discipline. Shoot, that's all I got to say.
We got it down. Like you said, just play defense, and it goes to the personal level. You want to get your personal money right. Guess what you got to do? You got to sit down. So as a group of people, we got to sit down, stop participating, like stop. And that's when the magic happens. It won't even, we'll do it for 90 days as a group, but we'll see wins in the first week, and it'll show us how powerful we are. But we have to start first to get the momentum going. If we stop, this whole game is over. The whole game is over. Because it's all built on a lie. They got the records that of what we gave to the world.
Yeah.
So why do you still promote slavery? We can celebrate an inventor every day of the year. We can have a holiday for our own people every day of the year. We have created that much for the world to benefit off of. Let me say that one more time. We can have a holiday every day of the year for an American inventor from our lineage, for something we gave the world. Why are you talking about slavery? Why? You make it seem like we did nothing, and that's a lie. It's too much. Like I said, we can go 365 days with something we invented.
Yeah.
And you only want to talk about slavery. And the truth of the matter is the European was coming across the Atlantic in the steerage section of the ship. So the whole thing is a lie.
Correct. Correct.
Bruh. I mean, that's where I'm at with it. Yeah, we just have to sit down. I don't know how we forgot. You come up by sitting down. You know, I don't know what happened in this information age. I'm not really plugged into it like that. I don't have Twitter. I don't watch football anymore. I ain't watched football in 3 years, and I'm a diehard sports fan. Why would I do it after Kaepernick? Looks like Kaepernick was right. 3 years later, you're still getting killed. You can't get a George Floyd act. Why would I want to sit up here and like they showed me who they were. When Trump called the parents of those football players sons of bitches, like I remember that. Like I ain't forget that. Like, wow, that's how you feel. Did he not say sons of bitches off the field? So why are you watching it? Read a book. But see, that sounds too foreign. That sounds
it's too far-fetched, and then you ain't got nothing to do, ain't reaping again. No benefits from it.
None.
You're not losing nothing.
You're not
losing a damn thing by not watching it.
You're breaking a habit. That's the hard part. You break again. Now I used to do sports bar the whole nine, but at some point I'm like, you know what? Once you show me what time it is, like I've gotten to a place in life where you ain't got to keep showing me over and over. You don't give a damn. You don't give a damn. I don't give a fuck. We could just rock it like that.
You just go ahead and separate. Cool. Yeah.
Man, these people that showed us, bro, what time it is. And if we're past being surprised now, it shouldn't even really make news, to be honest. That's kind of where after 2020, you don't have to put this on the news no more. We know all this is just icing on the cake for those that had some type of belief in the system that voted for Biden.
Yeah.
Those people now, you have nothing to say at all. You have nothing, because they've done nothing for you. And shame on you for voting for somebody without having something in writing. That's business 101. Everybody in business, your business class of the prisoners of war, we already know it ain't a deal unless it's in writing, because we know who we playing with. You go out there and you get our people to vote without nothing in writing. And then now you got to sit up here and figure out a way how to finesse us about why we're not getting nothing, because you never had anything written down in the first place.
That's like when we said, the wrong people in these meetings. That would never go down. You say, what? I gotta wait. Oh no, well, you gotta wait to get our vote.
So that's where we are. We went a little long tonight, bro, but I think we needed it. Yeah, I think our people just really have to understand the only way you come up is by sitting down. And so if we're the poorest group in society, we don't have any kind of protection. Let's just see how much power. Okay, so if we're slaves and we never did anything, then let's just put that to the test. Let's just not support it for the rest of the fourth fiscal quarter, the rest of the year. Let's just sit our ass down and let's get our minds right and get our fiscal house in order. Let's just try that. And if it don't work, and if we continue to get benign and neglected and nobody's knocking on our door, like, why aren't you coming out? Why aren't you spending your money? Then we're wrong. I'll admit I'm wrong. But if we start boycotting and not supporting these industries that are eating off us, and we get momentum, then maybe that's a reality to you that, damn, maybe they are telling the truth. Maybe those inventors and those federal patent numbers that they're providing every week, maybe that really is us. Maybe it is more people in slavery today in the prison system than it was back then. Maybe it was only a couple of people in. So what you trying to tell me is a plantation had 50,000 people picking cotton? Is that what you're trying to tell me? You trying to tell me a big company is Fortune 500 in today's world. So
Exactly.
you tell me a plantation had thousands of people on it.
Mm-hmm.
A max prison only got 3,000.
Facts.
Y'all get the lives right. Everybody was a slave.
Yeah. Like you said, Fortune 500 company, 500 employees.
But you trying to make it seem like all of us are slaves.
Silliness. Come on, guys, common sense shit. Common sense shit. But again, do it as an individual. Sit down for 90 days, see what it gets you. I guarantee the people who didn't do it with you, they be like, damn, I know you what you do? Sat my ass down for 90 days. Then they do it. Then the next person do it. And then it becomes a habit for everybody. And then we could be like, okay, this is what we're gonna do now. Are they gonna give us shit? Win the election? Okay. We're gonna do nothing till November. Now, okay, who wants our shit? But we need shit in writing. Come on. Start with the individual.
Yes. That's it, Chief Biko. Start with the individual. You got to generate income, but where do you spend your money once you get it? So stop getting your nails done.
Mm-hmm.
Stop getting your hair done. If you a guy, that means you ain't going out.
Yeah.
If you don't have the miseducation of the Negro, that's a $20 investment. How could you not have the book about the man who invented Black History Month?
Mm.
No, I'm just really asking that, like, why would you not have that book in your house?
That should be required reading.
Dang. So this is a good one, bro.
Yeah.